I'll start by asking Duane a question, which comes from talking with many of the African no friends, and the question is this, Duane. It's, in the new nowness of the ALLLISSS, we are supposed to be centered in the present, and the past is supposed to have been swept away, some sort of. So why are their lives seemingly still under the forces of karma, when the ease and the new sound, they are supposed to have maybe had a clean slate, as some say. Their lives are even just the same like when in the corporation, and even worse. So what is happening? Duane?
Well, what is happening, Charles? What's happening with your life? Start off with you. Do you have the same feet and arms?
Sorry?
Do you have the same feet and arms as you had in the corporation and now?
Yeah, but I would like to convey this answer to
Well,
them. So
that's a huge generalization. That question, again, people are looking for hocus pocus. They're looking for things to just immediately change, and it's really about their awareness. First of all, they keep looking at their personal life and the situations on the earth. That's what they're looking at. You just listen to their question. And they have to take the time to recognize their real awareness, first of all. And that's the first step. The old idea, and it was just an idea, was self-realization. What did that mean? Self-realization was the accumulation, basically, of the knowledge, okay, of the personal self and whatever. But now it's really recognizing that and getting through that to recognize your real awareness. Then the idea was God realization. Well, who in the heck knows what that is? It's just another idea, isn't it? And so again, these people have come from ideas, all right, not true realities. This becomes the difference, and it's a recognition. It's not hocus pocus. That's the difference. So there's the challenge, Charles. Yeah, there's the real challenge. They expect it to equate the same. In other words, everybody goes off of what their experiences were and expects things to equal that in some particular way because that's what they're used to, that's what they know. You see? So what if Christopher Columbus would have just stayed home and said, well, why should I cross the sea? There's just going to be another place just like where I'm at over there. So why even go? Okay. So again, look at how these people ask these questions and make sense of it. And those that do start to recognize their real awareness, well, then they become involved and start doing something, you see? Instead of just asking questions, why isn't my physical changed? Oh, the physical's gotten worse, etc. Well, I know. So is mine. I've been through a lot. That's the physical. But the real awareness and, creating these projects for people to get involved in and taking part in doing something, that makes sense. So again, look at Africa. Look at the Africans. What are they doing? Are they just keep wondering, are they waiting for something? You see? They have to do it. They have to decide something to do. This is what we've talked about for years. And the questions are fine. They're fine with me. But at the same time, if people don't grasp this, then they just don't, because they're looking at it the same way. And it's nowness, it's not present. There's past, present, and future. These things are references, especially the past. It's not that they're just going to go away. Every moment is new, but you have to recognize that moment. We're into recognition now. We're not just into being babysat and hand-fed with certain types of ideas. That's what we did before. And again, most people use that as their reference, thinking that it's all going to be the same, just like people that come from religion into this or anything. And same thing when they came into the corporation with Paul at the time. They brought all their ideas in because that was their reference, and they wanted it to basically align with that. So little by little, they started to wake up to the knowledge, but they just got the knowledge. And I've seen people cross over, Charles, and they knew about the guides, and they were in the corporation, and they were with this. And you know what? As soon as they got to the real side, they didn't know what to do, because they didn't take the time to recognize that's the difference. Instead of just accumulate knowledge and want things to happen for them. In other words, where does it say that when you, take part in this, that your life is going to become better in some way? It's about recognizing your real awareness, and from there, you make the decision how your life will be.
Okay, I will convey just that today. Okay, another question. There is a trend which is taking hold in Africa, and it is homosexuality. It is gradually making inroads, and Uganda is the first country to decriminalize it, and other countries where there are people fighting against restrictions on sodomy, they are crying out fiercely. I find this an interesting fight for freedom of choice, Duane. So I just want to ask a general question. How can a person's sexual orientation affect his real awareness, positively or negatively, Duane?
Okay, so is this something in the news or something like that?
It's not something in the news, it's something taking place.
It's something taking place. Okay, so
Yes.
What's the idea here? Women want to marry women, men want to marry men. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, I see it as very simple, and that is that, just like here, they have gay rights parades and all these things, whatever, lesbian parades, whatever. And these ideas, again, I see each person as a being, okay? It's all being to being, realistically. And as we come into creation, we take on a female or a male body. That's all these are. These are just vehicles like a car, right? The real, who we really are is a being of light, a free being of light. And it has nothing to do with male or female. But when we come into this experience, because we need both sides, we need day and night and all these things, positive and negative, cause and effect, etc. We need to experience all these things because it becomes a recognition until we sort who we really are out. So, but these are personal issues, and for me, if that was something a part of my personal life, like marriage, okay, where did that start from? It started from the religions, to get people tied up, and then they're really tied up, and then they want to untie. But the idea is that That's personal choice. And so even being married, in other words, society pressures people into these ideas. Oh, you have you have relations and you're not married, etc. Again, all these ideas that float around. So this is something that, when it comes to something personal like that, it's kind of like the clothes you wear. It's a personal idea. If you're not wearing the right clothes or something like that, again, society looks at all these things because they've brought themselves up and agreed to these things. To me, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. I look at the person as a being and what their personal life is. That's their choice. So if they're going to make an issue out of it to the community and beyond that, etc., then they're going to deal with it. But if it were me, I wouldn't make an issue. I'd keep it private, just like anything else. But it's a choice. But many people want to go out there and they want to demonstrate and whatever, and they want agreement from the government that they can legally get married. Well, again, these are all binding restrictions that they keep agreeing to. So again, if you want to go that far, have fun, but I would just keep it personal. But according to the real awareness, it doesn't matter. Again, that's a personal thing, just like what you eat. Your real awareness is about recognition. It's not about the personal stuff. But yes, you also, in the personal area, you want to make sense of your life. But then again, that's your business. I've dealt with people like this, gays or whatever. I found them very good people, actually. Actually more honorable than most people. And so, no, according to your real awareness, no, that's something between you and life itself. So unless the person is harming others or has the intention to do that or so, you see, that becomes different. But if they're just living their life and it's their business, well, it's their business. But me personally, I wouldn't be out there parading with everybody else. It's like I ride a bike. I'm not going to go in a bike parade because I like my bike. I'll just ride my bike for myself, and others can go in the bike parade if they want. This bike is just something I ride. So again, we are here to recognize our real awareness. And again, what are the issues that come up? The issues become first, and this is where they cloud the awareness to where, these issues seem to be something and they're not. So if you're gay or if whatever you want to be married or not, or what the whole thing is, just I would suggest keep it to your personal life. That's your life. You don't need an authentication from authorities to do that, etc. There's always other ways, but no, your real awareness is unique, and this is why we're here to recognize that. And so it's not, see, when people think in those terms, they're thinking in religious terms. In other words, yes, if you're gay, and even the Bible pushers, I've known people that went to colleges and whatever, and they couldn't even have certain classes because they were gay. You see, because they went to parochial schools, because those are the ideas and restrictions they set up to bind people. Well, the reality of life is the true reality with the real guides and the real universes. There's none of that. They see this. They're only interested in the intent and the being of the individual. That's what makes us so unique. There's no negating anything. Just be cool, make sense of things, and step up and do something for yourself, support others. It's very simple, but none of this silly stuff. That's all personal. It's like your meal. Just, whatever you want for dinner, that's your business. See?
I want to ask Duane, can one be, sorry, today I'll be talking much about sex. Can one be a sexual libertine and still become aware of the ALLLISS, the real universes and the real guides? The religions frown on any feelings of sex as an impediment. And so we find that the Vatican has defrocked and laicized former Cardinal McCarrick, who is 86, because he was found guilty of soliciting sex for during a confession hearing, and the crimes against minors and adults. So the Vatican has defrocked him. So I want to know whether with no restrictions on the nothing of the sort in the no presentation. I don't know whether some kind of licentiousness still goes with having a high state of awareness.
Well, again, Charles, these references that you bring up about these things, again, it's like the sun shining. What does it have to do with any of that? It doesn't. See, again, going off old ideas. And also, this cardinal that was caught or whatever, this has become very laughable over the decades and ages, etc., because their whole business is based on kidnapping and sexually abusing people. This is all they do. And then devour them because they're all reptilian. So that's the business of the Vatican. So they will make, just to satisfy the unaware masses, they will make a sacrifice once in a while of their own. This is what they do. This is what the reptilians do. They sacrifice their own. They stick them out there. Yeah, sometimes you'll see these senators or these congressmen having an affair and they deny it on TV or whatever. They sacrifice them, because the public demands it. So at a certain point, they let them have it, just like in the old Roman Colosseum days. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. And it's no different today. And it's all a joke. So, and the ideas around this, that surround this, again, my focus is the all-is. That's what the new presentation is about. Everything that I refer to, talk about, and write is referring to the isness, life is. That's it. There's no rules, regulations, morals, or any of these things. Those are things that people decide for themselves. I don't specify any of that. I just basically share my experiences and what I see with what is going on in the world and refer people to that. And all these other ideas, that's all make-believe in their mind, and they can have, anybody can have whatever they want. Has nothing to do with us. Don't refer to any of that. Know about it, but has nothing to do with anything that I'm presenting, you see. And this is where people start to get mixed up too. They start bringing in their old relationships, or they see something in the news and they start trying to align it with what's being presented here. Well, and so it looks a little funny. I've seen it, but, I'm not a policeman. I'm not going to police this stuff. Everybody can do whatever they want. But the bigger picture is the recognition of your real awareness and recognizing this and taking part in something that makes sense. But again, these issues, they're just one-dimensional social issues, and anything that comes from the systems or the authorities, that's just marketing ploy for the most part to keep people, really stupid, keep them really stupid and confused for the most part. That's all it is, because none of it makes sense. It never does. So they just keep distorting things. So it's not really the issue, Charles. It's the distortion that they want you to agree to, so you're confused. Do you see? That's really what it is. It's not about the sex or anything else. And yeah, they're doing these things. They're kidnapping people and children. That's where all the children disappear and whatever. They've been kidnapped, etc., by these people, and it's their choice. Yeah, but we have nothing to do with any of it. So again, this is the world today, isn't it?
Yeah, you find this kind of restrictions all over the place. Religious circles and people's lives are contained. So just wanting to know whether of no restrictions by the wonderful worldwide educators, one is just free to do anything he likes. And well, you've said it all. There are no restrictions.